for ourselves, but we are not by ourselves. And that is one of the reasons why I like this business. We are like-minded professionals ready to succeed. I hope you're feeling the energy, everybody. This last month of March, we had what, 15 people become directors, but you're also feeling the travel energy, aren't you? That it's starting to pick up, boom, boom, boom. Well, we recognize that, and we wanted to take the opportunity today to kind of help some of our new partners and our more experienced partners do a lessons learned, some tips. So we're going to share lessons learned. We're going to share tips about how to be more efficient, effective in our travel business, how to avoid some pitfalls, all of those things. And to do that, I'm able to have a very experienced panel come up for you. And I'm just going to introduce them first. And then as we get into the subject, I will call on them then. But first, we have Michelle Simpson. She is a goal builder and a travel booker out of the out of the Virginia market. Next, we have Paula Ford. Guess what? She's a silver builder and a travel booker out of that Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas market. We have Portia Cannon. She is a longtime business partner, travel booker out of the Atlanta, Georgia market. We have Claudia Cream, also a silver builder, a travel booker out of the New Jersey market. And rounding it out, we have Tonda Sizwe Roan, two-star director, a travel booker out of the Los Angeles, California market. Well, thank you, ladies. I want to say that right now for your willingness to share. So let's get right into it because we've got a lot to cover. Our first category that we're going to be covering as far as lessons learned let me stop. Here's how we're going to work this. We're going to go through some information. If you have comments or questions, the questions we'll get to at the end. If you have comments, you might want to write them in the chat. I may be able to take one or two, but we've got a lot of information to go through, but please use that chat feature, okay? So here we go. We're going to get started. We're going to start out with travel insurance. What are some of the lessons learned or tips around travel insurance? And to help us do that, I'm going to bring up two-star director, travel booker, Tonda Sizwe Roan.
Great, great. Thank you, thank you. I know the most exciting topic to kick it off, right? But really it is, and you'll know. Okay, so we have a group of 25 cabins on a 7-day cruise. Everybody's been planning for a year, friends and family. Everything's locked in. We all get to the port. A client comes in, flew in, and turns out her purse was stolen at the airport. So we spent hours in the cruise terminal with the cruise line, everyone trying to see what could we possibly do to help her get on, passports and all those things. It's the weekend. And out of those almost 50 people, guess who was the only person who did not purchase travel insurance? You got it. And she had to, she lost everything. She lost everything. So it's very important to include a travel insurance quote when you are making your booking at the very beginning. Always, always. It should never be an afterthought. Think about this, back in the day, I'm gonna date myself, when you went to Circuit City and you bought this huge entertainment system, and then you already had your head ready about the thousands or whatever dollar it is, then you go up there to pay, and then they say, oh yes, would you like a warranty on that? How many of you say, oh no, that's okay? But if it was included, you'd already have your brain set up for that. But you want to, as a professional, always offer it as the norm. Allianz is our preferred travel provider. You can find them in your back office. You can register via the agent link, which is maxonline.com, that link. And here's what I recommend. Don't get down in the weeds, but review their 3 basic coverages. So at least you have a general idea what you're talking about. And when you do your quote, at least add one of the basics. The reason that you do want to review it is because how many of us have heard of the ones that you can cancel without any penalty? Well, I do know that generally that has to be purchased at the time of the deposit, or there's a very short window. So you want to make sure that you do not miss that. And again, you want to call them, as I recommend, and make sure you're clear. What does that refund without penalty actually mean? Because it might not be what you or the client really think. And so then you'll be able to make the best decision for your client. Document, document, document. In the travel industry, you always want to document anyway. So make sure you have everything that you need. Here's a couple of other things that you want to think about when we talk insurance. You don't want to pay from your own profits because you made an error. And you want to always do certain things like there is a waiver of travel insurance that's in your back office. I send that out when I also send my credit card authorization form. So when they fax it back in, they say whether they will or will not take the insurance. And it clearly says if they choose not to, after you've shared some benefits to them, then they know they're responsible for everything that happens. Also, what you want to know, because this is about business too, I love it that you're making you're helping your clients, providing value, but you get paid very handsomely. Travel insurance is anything from 20 to 28% that they pay on. And even during the pandemic, when a lot of folks canceled, the travel insurance, many of us still got our commission. So you want to definitely think about that as well. Also, just as a tip for you, I know when I'm traveling, I normally always buy a travel agent insurance package for the year. And then if I want to add on something, like I thought one time I was going to be very adventuresome and book, zip line, all this other stuff. I bought a sports package on top of it, but you should check that out, especially since we're getting ready to start traveling, so that you are always insured, and especially if you're going out of the country. So that's my quotes my information on travel insurance.
Thank you so much, Director Roan. I love it because you hit the nail on the head. My tip was pretty much use our preferred travel insurance vendor, Allianz, because it can be convenient to use the suppliers when you're on there doing the package to use their travel insurance. But please read that carefully, because what you will find out is that it may not include non-refundable room rates or excursions or concert tickets. While if you use Allianz and you put the total amount of the package, include everything in that, generally everything is covered. So again, and then Director Roan just said, if you use a supplier travel package, your commission is going to be maybe 3 to 8%. Allianz is, like she said, up to 28%. Huge. Great. Thank you so much. Here's what I'm going to also ask now. We're going to move on to air travel. Thank you. I'd like to ask Ms. Paula Ford if she would unmute herself and come up and give us tips or lessons learned.
Thank you, Sandy. My lesson learned was legal government names, and I'll tell you why. I was doing my first big all-inclusive package. Family was going to Cabo. They go every year. The group leader keeps everything together, so I knew this was going to be a pretty easy breezy trip for me. All I had to do was get it together. Send her emails, send her text message. In my emails, I specifically stated, I need the legal names of all the passengers, including the date of birth, for the airfare and the hotel. Send her 2 or 3 emails. I get everything together, deposit gets made. Send her the paperwork. She comes back and tells me that one of the gentleman's names is wrong. That was his nickname that she gave me, because that's all they called him. So I booked it up under his nickname. Unfortunately for her, it cost her $200 to get that changed, because she fully admitted that she just glanced over my emails and didn't even think about it until after the fact. It was easy to fix at the hotel, but yeah, American Airlines, they don't play. It cost her $200, And she was like, I will pay it because I made the mistake. So my lesson learned was from then on, all of my customers have to send me a copy of their passport or driver's license so that I can have their full legal name and I know exactly what's going on their documentation and everything matches. So that it doesn't cost them and then it doesn't cost me in the end. And I still look like a champion.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Ms. Ford. I appreciate that. Yep. And that is absolute truth. In addition, on your credit card authorization form, the one that you use from IntelliTravel, it absolutely asks you to send a picture of your front and back of your driver's license. And there's a reason for it. Thank you so much. Next, Portia Cannon, if you'll come up and tell us, what is your tip or lesson learned regarding air?
Well, in line with the copy of the credit card, your driver's license, actually get a copy of their passport too, because their driver's license and passport may not be the same. So that's a big one to catch. But my lesson learned was a little different. I had a group going to Aruba, and I had 3 ladies who were traveling together out of New Orleans, and I booked their flight because this wasn't a flight and resort connection altogether. So I had to book their flights separately. And I looked up the times and booked the flights and thought I was being diligent about making sure they were on the same flight. And I didn't find out until a week after they returned from Aruba that one of the ladies, I booked her on an earlier flight, and she was the one who drove the car to the airport. So the other girls had to make arrangements when they got back to New Orleans to get home that night. And it was pretty late when they got home. So I felt really bad about that and sent a little something to, apologize, but just make sure you're double checking your flight times and numbers, especially when you have a group that's traveling together and in the same transport.
Thank you so much. Yeah, that I would be kind of irritated if I was the one depending on a ride and they were early. I'm going to give you my tip for air travel. And if you haven't done so, here it is. It's a tip. If you haven't done so, I strongly, strongly recommend that each one of you register with our Air Consolidator travel partners and take their training. Our consolidators are Fairbuzz, Centrav, or Skybird. Use them for your clients that are flying internationally for sure. I had a client, family of 6. They wanted to go from Los Angeles to Nairobi. The best price that we could find on the online travel sites was $8,259 for all 6 of them, right? So I went through Skybird, found them a round trip flight from San Diego, where they lived, to Nairobi for $7,400. That saved them not only 2 hours drive time from San Diego to LAX on their departure and their return, but an additional $859 savings. In addition, ladies and gentlemen, I made a $400 commission. So always check your air consolidators. Anybody, I'm gonna stop right here. Does anybody have a air travel tip or lesson learned they want to share here? And if not, no worries, we're going to move it along, right along.
Sandy, can you repeat those 3 consolidators?
Sure can. They are Fairbuzz, Centrav, and Skybird. I'll have them listed later on. Next, we're going to go into our next topic, which is hotel and resorts. I'm going to start this one off, okay? Because this is a lesson learned. Be aware of the international date line. What is it? It's a line in the middle of the Pacific that when you cross it can add anywhere from 12 to 48 hours to a person's life, okay? This is not critical if you are doing a package like with Classic Vacations or Delta Vacations or, Travel Impressions. It is extremely important if you are the one putting together the flight, the hotel, the tours, etc. I had a client that wanted to honeymoon in Fiji, LAX to Fiji, direct flight, about 10.5 hours flying time, no problem. I had them leaving on Sunday night and checking into the hotel on Monday afternoon, quoted the fare, everything. They said they liked it. They said they'd get right back with me in a couple of hours. And while they were getting back to me, I'm going over the documents. And what do I see? Yes, they leave on Sunday and they actually arrive on Tuesday because of that international dateline. So ladies, think about that. And gentlemen, I've got them checking in on Monday. They actually don't arrive till Tuesday. And if you are aware of hotels, you are a no-show on Monday. That means you have forfeited all of your money. Well, thank goodness I caught it, because that would have been a terrible way to start a honeymoon and 100% of their money gone. So I want you to share that. Don't forget your international dateline and read. That was totally user error. Tonda Sizwe, do you have any lessons learned or tips around hotels, resorts?
Yes, but I would like to add on what you just said. Coming from the airline industry, you have got to check your city codes. Things look similar and you will book the wrong one. And it doesn't matter if you arrive on time, if you're leaving from the wrong city or going to the wrong destination. In general, hotels, they may seem pretty simple, and they kind of are, but here's some things that you can do to elevate yourself. And that is check everything on their website. And if they really locking it down, you should make calls to the hotel, to the property, especially in this day and age when things are changing. Find out what's open and what's not open, what's restricted. Find out all those kinds of things. It is a shock for some people who don't travel very much that the resort fees can be outrageous as far as they're concerned. And if you haven't factored that in to let them know, then it's a shock. Parking can be $40, $45. It just depends. There's a lot of different things that your clients would be looking to you saying, you're the pro, why didn't you check that out? Sometimes when you're looking at properties and you want a certain area, still look on the page, but call the property and say, is the partial ocean view, how partial is it? Because it would be worth it for you to upgrade them to something different. Make sure you know what if they're clients who have frequent, I want to say frequent flyer miles, but their loyalty, they have rewards with that property. See what that does for you when you're booking, if it negates anything that you're booking in commission, or if they cannot get it because they went through a travel professional. So again, details that don't seem like, oh, but you want to check everything out. And after you've done it a few times, you know exactly what to say. Oh, the other thing is when you call, find the local number. It will be very hard to find that for hotels because they want to send you to the reservation. Do not go there, go to the front desk. So those are just some small things, but they can be very not cool when your client gets there. And always, when you get the confirmation, call at least a day or so before to make sure that everything is correct, that the hotel didn't say, oh, you used a third party. I don't know. We don't have anything.
Thank you so much, Director Rohn. I will also add one other thing. If you have a desire or a niche, I would say this, if there is a resort that you like, specialize in that resort. The reason I say that is because you will be rewarded. For instance, Charisma Hotels and Resorts. They're found throughout Mexico and the Caribbean. They offer travel agents that specialize in their property commissions of up to 25%. That's huge. Most hotels, 7, 10, maybe 12, maybe 15, 25 is almost unheard of. It's well worth it to, if you're gonna do that, do it with somebody who's going to give you the money. We're gonna move on now to, guess what? Cruises. So I would like to actually at this time bring up Michelle Simpson, and tell us your tips or lessons learned about cruising.
All right. Hello, everyone. I have a tip for you. Go the extra mile to make a lasting impression and be 100% intentional on what you do for your clients. What do I mean by that? You all hear me talking about that Disney cruise that I scheduled when I closed my school with 15 cabins booked. Let me tell you what I did. I knew everybody's birthdays, their anniversary, any special occasion. So what you might want to do when you're booking your clients, find out this information. Know when there is something special happening in their lives, and you be the one to initiate that celebration. Well, how are you going to do that? Ask, number one, ask the vendor if they offer special incentives. Number one, Royal Caribbean, Carnival, all of those cruises, I promise you, they will bring the entire staff and they will sing on the tables, give them a cupcake, and celebrate your clients at dinner. But you have to inform them that your client is having a birthday or an anniversary, let them know when it is, and they will even allow you to pick out the day that you want to celebrate those clients. If you're doing an all-inclusive resort, there are some resorts that will also give them a spa certificate. They will give them discounts at the spa. They will give them discounts at dinner. You have to ask the question. And when you do that, you provide that information to your clients and you coordinate that with the staff person at the resort. Now, my cruise was extra special. When my families arrived on the ship, I had a personalized name tag on everybody's door. I got on the ship, I ran around to everybody's room because I had the list in the beginning, and I had made them these wonderful welcome signs. The Bourne family, the Smith family, when they got to their cabin, they felt really welcome because all of their names were on the door. I didn't put the last name, that's too much information, but you welcome them. You can just take a piece of paper and print it out, go to Kinko's or wherever before you go. In addition to that, I always shop at the end of the season stores. Easter was just over. Guess what I do? I go get the 95%, the 75%, the 50% off of everything. I buy Easter bunnies, Easter cards, Christmas cards. You go and shop and just collect stuff. Get those Christmas bags when they're 2 cents after Christmas, and you get a container and you store all of this stuff, because what you're going to do, you're going to travel with a little extra bag. And I love cruising because they do not limit how many bags you can take. One of my bags is filled with supplies. I'm the birthday party planner on the ship. I'm not going to pay Royal Caribbean $55 to put a little streamer in my guest room. So I bring my balloons, my streamers, my party favors, my hats, and I decorate their doors on my own when they're sleeping. They wake up and voila, it's their birthday. It's their anniversary. They have a card. Guess what else? You get to have a beverage limit when you get on the ship. I don't drink, but I get a 6-pack of sparkling cider. And instead of my wine allowance, I bring my sparkling cider. And then for my clients who do drink wine, I'll get champagne and wine. And I use that allowance that the ship gives you to bring so many bottles on. And I have cases of cider in my room. So now I get to put in a little gift basket, some cellophane, and a nice pretty ribbon, a bottle of wine or sparkling cider on their bed, and I didn't spend $100. So what I typically do is give back to my clients a portion of my cruise credits. Last but not least, on the Disney Dream, they have this beautiful spa room. You all would not believe it's only $18. So 2 of my parents of the students that I had, I gave them a gift certificate to have a day at that spa for $18. They thought I spent $100, but I promise you it was only $18, and they were excited. So you need to find out what the ship offers, what the resort offers, and you make that client's trip the most memorable ever. Bring your little streamers, decorate the room, and then what happens for you? Why did I do that? Because I gave them a memorable experience. The next time they want to go anywhere, they're going to remember more of the gifts and the things and the extra mile that I went for them to be happy than they will anything negative that may have happened on that trip. That's it, Sam.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Michelle. I appreciate that. Yep, we've all done that one or tried to, but I'm gonna do a couple of those that you just said. I want to bring up next Miss Claudia Cream out of the New Jersey market. Claudia, talk to us about your tips or lesson learned from cruising.
Well, at this point in time, all I have to say is ditto. That everything Michelle does, I do. Ditto, ditto. Only thing I shop at Dollar Tree, and each of my groups, I put the little shoes on their door so everyone knows their path to who's in the group. So ditto, Michelle, thank you. You stole my thunder. But what I do, the tip I do want to give, in addition to what Michelle said, you have not because you ask not. If whatever you can conceive or perceive to make that special moment for your clients, ask. It hurts nothing to ask on the ship. I have asked a number of things. I know one cruise I was on, a lot of us celebrate Kwanzaa. During the holiday time, you see Christmas, you see Hanukkah, but you didn't see Kwanzaa. So what did I do? I asked, and they made it happen. So you don't know what they will do for you unless you ask. I took another group, and we're line dancers. So I asked, is there an area in which we could line dance? I know the cruise directors, they do their own line dance, but we're more advanced than that. So I asked for area for us to have our own line dancing. They made it happen. And everyone else on the ship, well, not everyone, but other people came and joined our line dancing. So you have to ask, because when you cruise and people know you cruise, they're going to follow you because they know the fun will be there. So ask, make it happen. And then that encourages people to bring others. The next time they know you're cruising, they're going to want to be with you. So my tip is, you have not because you ask not. So ask.
Thank you so much, Ms. Claudia Cream. I appreciate that. I want to go really quickly then to one other person, Ms. Portia Cannon, if you would share with us about the cancellations, the vouchers versus the refunds.
Yes, I had a group that was going on a cruise last year, and of course with Corona, everything got canceled fairly early. But they were holding out till as far along as they could to determine if they were going to cancel or not. And we were on Norwegian, and one of the guests decided they wanted to get their cash back instead of the voucher, and they would take the penalty. And when I called Norwegian, they said, well, just do it. You can do your cancellations on the website. Well, there wasn't a place on the website to indicate what type of cancellation you wanted to make. It just says cancel. And so it automatically went to the voucher, and Norwegian wouldn't change it. So I end up having to buy that cabin from my guests in order for them to get their cash back. And so to keep from having to worry about them not traveling again or not using me again, I bought that cabin back from you, and I will use that, or, you know, sell it to someone else. But it's important to make sure that for cancellations, you call the company and have them cancel according to the way they explain the cancellations to you. So if they say it's a hard cancel, or if it's a cash return with penalty, you make sure they do it so that they can have their notes when you talk to them about what you requested them to do.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That's very valuable. I appreciate that. I'm
Hey,
going to add
Sandy, one more. I'm sorry. I just booked with Virgin on their new ships, and they're a new cruise line. And when you book with them, you only have 7 days after deposit to cancel. It automatically goes to a voucher if you cancel on their ship. So that's a good one on Virgin. Know that you only have 7 days after you place the deposit in order to cancel that trip and get your deposit back, or it goes to a voucher.
Thank you so much. That's important. I appreciate that. One thing I did want to add really quickly on this, because we are running out of time. We've got so many things to cover. We're running out of time, but here we go. I want you to understand something. Guys, we are part of Ensemble. We are part of the Ensemble consortium, and that is very powerful. You always know, you hear when IntelliTravel says that IntelliTravel being so well known within the industry, especially powerful with the cruise lines, that we have a 1,200 cabin inventory kind of set aside for IntelliTravel. Well, I was talking to a business partner who was trying to book a cabin, several cabins during peak times, during the peak part of the year, and it was a balcony cabin. Most of them were gone. And that is exactly what she was told. Sorry, we don't have it. No cabins, no balcony, this, that, and the other. my business partner said, well, what about, I'm with IntelliTravel, what about our 1,200? Those were gone too. And just on a ho-hum, she said, well, you know, I'm with Ensemble. And the cruise representative said, oh, you're with Ensemble? Well, we have some set aside for them as well. Guess what? So she was able to get her cabin, the cruise itinerary she wanted, and the cabin that she wanted, merely by saying that she was part of Ensemble. On top of that, there were some additional amenities that were given to her clients because of Ensemble, on top of the regular ones that we would be getting as a group. So again, go find Ensemble, understand what they offer, because what they offer is powerful, and it gives you a bigger breadth of what you can do. So I want to move on along. Normally we were gonna talk about quotes and something else. I'm gonna go back to Director Dawkins. Do I have about 5 to 10 minutes?
Absolutely.
Awesome, thank you so much. Okay, so then we're gonna move along and we are going to talk about quotes. And we are going to go to Claudia Cream out there in the New Jersey market. Can you talk to us about time spent on quotes?
Yes. I just share with you a lesson learned. I was asked to provide a quote for a trip to Dubai. The young lady was very excited about going to Dubai because she heard I'd been there, and so for 1 week, put together the best Dubai trip ever, from hotels, airfare, tours, things that are off the beaten path that I learned when I was in Dubai, so that she would have a memorable trip, because that's what we do. We prepare memories. So I spent all this time putting the package together, corresponding back and forth with her, because she didn't like this, she didn't want the river cruise, she didn't want that. Okay, we have great suppliers out there that'll work with you. Prepared a flyer for her, because she had more than one person going with her. So put all this together. I was even happy. I was going to go back on the trip that I planned. Well, I put it out to her. She said, well, let me think on it. Okay. I let her think on it. Reached out to her. Well, did not hear from her. She went ghost on me. I heard from someone else because I provided too much information. That's the lesson I learned. The hotels, the flights, all the little extra I provided for her. Well, it was to her advantage, but my disadvantage. Moving right along, didn't she come back to me for another trip? But you may get me one time, you will not get me a second time. So the next time she came back, this was for Mexico. I gave her an overview. I did not give her names of places. I just said, it's going to cost this. Do you want to move on? I haven't heard from her since. Lesson learned. After you qualify them, and I didn't know her personally, so just be cautious. But some will, some won't. Next.
Awesome. Thank you, Claudia. And I was going to say that, guys, don't forget that you're professionals and your time is money. Set yourself up. What is your hourly rate? Is your hourly rate $60 an hour, or is your hourly rate free? You decide. So you determine what is going to be the one. Oops, sorry, that's my alarm. You decide what you're going to give and what you're going to hold back until somebody gives you a credit card authorization. I love it. I'm going to move on to Michelle Simpson. Michelle, if you could be really concise and talk to us about, and that's only because of time, the customer profile form.
You know, learning conciseness is my forte. So here we go. The profile form. This is my thing to everybody. Get organized first. Uno, day one. Don't multitask obtaining information to book your clients' trips. To myself, don't book and drive. I wanted to keep the customers. I was so excited to have my first bookings, and I was just, oh yeah, I can do it. I'm driving, I'm trying to remember information. I am old, I don't remember all that information. Print that profile sheet out of your back office, number one. Take one in the car, keep it on your desk, keep it with you. Or for you young folks, just email it to them. Email the customer profile sheet. Obtain the correct information the first time. When you print the profile form, I noticed on our profile form, they do not have the date of birth. You have to match the information that you need with our vendors. The vendors are going to need the date of birth for your clients. They need information that may not be on there. So modify the profile form to what you do, whatever you specialize in. There's certain information that you're going to need to provide that to our vendors that may not be on there. Anniversaries, I like to know when people's anniversaries are, so you figure out what to do. Real important, what discounts does your clients qualify for? Are they military? Are they government? Are they senior citizens? Make sure you know what they qualify for so that you can offer them not only the best quality service, the best rate, but give them the AARP or whatever, the Marriott reward or the Hilton reward. And I also compare those prices. But if you don't have that information on the profile form, when you're calling to book that trip, you may not know to ask, you may forget. Use that profile form, organize it, and have it in front of you when you are on the phone. This way you're checking your boxes and your line items. And also another one we sometimes forget, what is their airline preference? They may have Delta miles. They could use Delta miles for their trip, Southwest miles, whatever it may be. So when you are packaging a trip, know all of this information up front. Have it in front of you. Don't try to memorize the client's information. Make sure you have all of the pertinent information, because you will not be frustrated when you're talking to Apple Vacations or FunJet or whomever, and they won't be frustrated either. You can tell when an agent is frustrated with you. And if you use Vax a lot or you're doing it online, you have everything you need and you don't have to spend unnecessary time going back and forth. Print the profile form, get organized, make your client a file. So when they call, just go pull that little nice yellow file. I used to have one with me, but you have everything all together in one place. That's it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Guys, we are running out of time. And there is one last thing that just has to be talked about. And I'm going to bounce that over to Director Roan to talk about commission and commission escalation.
All right, great. First of all, commissions is how we earn our money in our business. So first of all, if you have not, make sure you go into your back office and read the section about commissions, how we get paid, what's the proper format. Commissions are earned usually 30 to 60 days after travel. So please don't call IntelliTravel, hound the vendor, where's my commission? Because generally that's how long it takes. Then once it comes in, it can be the 15th of the next month. Good news is in the back office, you have your commission, it'll tell you about pending. So you should know when you should be looking for commissions to be coming to you. We talked about documentation. It is incredibly important that you document around your commissions. First of all, if you book anything through IntelliTravel site, you know that it's going to be logged. But if you register outside bookings, which you can do within 24 hours, you must put all that booking information in your back office and go in there in your back office, and you'll see registering outside bookings. And it will tell you exactly what you need to do, what you need to have. And you keep an account and document everything so that you know. If after the 60 days, you're not seeing your money, you can look back and see if it's pending, and then go through the proper steps of connecting with IntelliTravel. This is my booking number. This is when I booked it. This is all the information that you have at your fingertips to share. And then they will start the search. What you don't want is to not have your information inside the system, so that when the vendor sends this check for $500, it comes to IntelliTravel and they're like, I don't know who this goes to. So it just sits there. Now, if you've done everything that you should be doing, following all the process, and it's still not getting resolved, then you send an email with all the documentation to your director so that we can support you in making sure that it gets resolved. But the onus is always on you, first to do it properly, to know how to record your commissions. Second, know when they should be coming. Third, follow the process. And sometimes IntelliTravel will say, well, go ahead, you can now call the vendor. But we don't want to call the vendor immediately. Remember, 30 to 60 days. So follow the process. And we do have a method that if it's not resolved, then come with all your facts and documentation in an email to your director. So that's the important thing. Understand how we get paid and what you have to do to record your bookings. Back to you, Director Roan. Director Myritz.
Thank you so much. And I do want to just reemphasize, we as directors, we do have an avenue to escalate your concern up through the channels, to IntelliTravel. So don't be shy about doing that. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you so much. We just ran out of time. I just want to say a couple of things. Always be professional, which we always are. Know your product, be organized, which I saw in the chat. I love it. Stay up to date in your industry. You are the professional. So your customer should not know more than you. Stay up to date. Take time to learn. Get on the official IntelliTravel Departure Lounge Facebook page. It is huge. A lot of the lessons learned and questions are answered there. And find your niche, find your specialty, because it is so easy to stay abreast of information in this, what, $8 trillion industry if you have a niche or a specialty. With that, I am going to, because I'm showing that it is 6:44 my time. I do want to please put your questions in the chat, because we will get to them and we'll respond to them. I do want to also say this. Thank you so much to everyone for your time and for your information. But now is the best time of all. Now is the time where I get to hand it over to, again, Director Roan, where she talks about some new people, partners. Director Roan.
I love it when I get to do this part. So all of our goal builders, get ready. We continue to grow because people are seeing the value of owning this business, and your excitement and professionalism has helped our team continue to grow. So goal builders, go ahead and unmute yourself and let's welcome some new partners or any promotions that we have.
Director Roan, this is Christy Bainey, and I want to welcome my new partner, Yolanda King. She's out of Santee, South Carolina. And then I also want to congratulate, Director Dawkins already mentioned it, but I want to congratulate Renee Crawford to her promotion to Director in Training.
All right, that's a wonderful new partner, and then partner in your downline, hitting Director in Training. Congratulations, Yolanda and Renee. And thank you, Christy.
Director Roan, Jennifer Fletcher.
Okay, I hear Jennifer louder than everyone else. Let's take it away, Jennifer.
Hello, everyone. I want to welcome Denise Watley and Sonia Alicock. They're both direct to me. And I would like to also welcome Naya Holden, who is direct to Lachette Holden.
Great, wonderful. That's everybody is getting on the board. Thank you. Stormy, I see you're unmuted and ready.
Yes, good evening, Director Roan. I'd like to welcome a new partner, retired Chief Leland Chaplin. He's from Canada, but he's now a resident of St. Croix, U.S. Virgin Islands, personally sponsored by me. And I'd also like to welcome a new partner, Miss Nelson, Bridget, her name. out of Raleigh, North Carolina, personally sponsored by me.
Wonderful. Welcome, ladies.
This is Director Myricks. It is my absolute pleasure to welcome my newest partner. Her name is Melinda Pursley out of the Santa Maria, California area, whoop, whoop, a veteran of the airline industry.
Great. Always wonderful. Is anybody else?
Oh, Director
Great
Ron.
evening.
I couldn't hear. Two people. That's great. Who's going first?
Hi, Director Ron. This is Sherelle out of Birmingham, Alabama.
Sherelle.
I would like to welcome Mr. Bryant Quinn to the team. He's actually sponsored by his wife that joined last week, and he decided to join a couple of days later. He wanted his own travel business. So I would like to welcome him to the team, sponsored by April. And I would also like to welcome Ms. Christian Snyder, sponsored by Shanique Stinson, which I think both of them are on the line tonight. She just signed up a few minutes ago.
Oh, that's outstanding. And be able to come right onto our team Zoom. Great way to start. Congratulations, everyone.
Director Ron,
All right, Director Joyner.
I would like to welcome to the team Murder Spencer, sponsored by Melissa Spencer. I'd like to welcome Princess Cunningham, sponsored by Melissa Spencer. I'd like to congratulate Melissa on becoming a silver builder.
All right.
And I'd like to also welcome a new personal of ours, April Brumley.
Well done. Well done. Congratulations. Promotions and people seeing the vision. Great. Anyone else?
Great evening. This is Selena Best, and I would like to welcome to the team. His name is Calvin Levy. He is out of the Atlanta market. He is sponsored by Jessica Clark.
Well, welcome to the team. Congratulations. Thank you.
Greetings. This is McKenna Gardner from San Diego, California. I just recently got a new partner today. Her name is Tiffany Thorpe, all the way from Las Vegas, California.
Okay, close enough. West Coast, right?
Yes, yes.
Great, great, wonderful, wonderful. It just feels so wonderful to sponsor someone and immediately get on a team Zoom. Good work. Anyone else? All right. Wow, this continues to be exciting as we go out there and share our business with other people. They're looking right now. So great work. Director Dawkins, I'm going to turn it back to you in case you have any closing comments or anything else that you want to share, announcements, etc.
This was an amazing call. I have notes, I have laughed. This was great, great, great. So thank you, ladies. Thank you so much for Travel Talk. So remember, every second Thursday, it is Travel Talk. So again, Director Myricks, thank you for spearheading that. All right, well, we're wrapping up. The biggest announcement right now is our next biggest event, which is going to be this Saturday, our international, I say international because we're going to have the DaCosta brothers on. Get your guest on. I am really pubbing this because you have 3 actual brothers who are all directors and working this business together, and they're going to be presenting on Saturday. So get your guests on and, be there yourself, of course. Have them, pop in and take a look at what we have going on. That's definitely the next biggest for your guests. Then we also have, of course, Mr. Shedrick White is going to be on at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Saturday morning for the leadership Zoom. You want to plug into that as well. Sorry, my throat is tickling right now, so gotta have some water. Okay, much better. Yeah, definitely plug in for that. Plug in for all the corporate opportunities. Ladies and gentlemen, this industry, travel, I'm telling you, people are calling, they want a partner. They are calling, they're saying, you know what, it's time, I want to do something different. They are calling saying, I got to get out of here. I got to get out of here. More and more daily. I'm like, oh my goodness, who even gave you my number? You know, referrals. I'm like, what? But you want to take advantage of this. This is what we're talking about. And this is just the beginning. So this is a time to reach out to people. Hey, how are you doing? Let's take a look at this business again. Or, hey, how you doing? Where do you want to go? I think you will find lots of opportunities. So take advantage for it. Be bold, get out there and do that. Let me see, any other announcements other than convention? I am pretty sure, y'all, this is going to sell out really soon. I talked to a business partner today. I'm like, you've got to get your ticket because there will be no mercy. It is going to sell out. And if you're here already and you know, go get your ticket. Dallas, it's in the back office. We're going to be at the Gaylord Palms in Dallas, Texas. And it's going to be amazing. Can you imagine? Oh, I'm so glad. I cannot wait to see you all walking across the stage, actually being able to hug everyone personally, you know, with mask, I guess. But anyway, it's going to be phenomenal. Take advantage of it because you can't ask your team to go if you're not going, right? You don't have a leg to stand on. You should go and I'm not going to be there. No, go ahead and get your ticket so your team will follow. Let me see. Anything else? Directors, am I missing anything? Okay. Wonderful.
I have a quick comment, not necessarily an announcement, but so for those who want to save the notes from today's session or from any Zoom session, I just wanted to share something that I just learned today, and I put it in the chat. You just go in the chat as if you're going to type a message. At the bottom, it'll say everyone. To the right of that, it'll say file. To the far right, there'll be 3 dots. You just click the 3 dots. Save chat is the first option. When you hit that button, it's going to go to a folder on your very own computer or your device. So now you don't have to wait for the replay. If you want notes, they are right there for you. And that was a gift given to me, so I'm passing it on to all of you. That's all.
We love you, Belle. Awesome.
You're welcome.
That is great. Thank you. Fantastic. All right.
Can I share something also?
Sure.
Listen, there is a site, anything you want to know about social media, it is free. It's called getsetup.io. I will put it in the chat. Anything they teach you is better than YouTube because it's live people. It's 1 hour. They have over 300 courses. And this is one of the tips that she just shared, that they share from Windows to Zoom to looking professional on Zoom. All that's taught in these classes.
All right. All right. I love it.
And for those of us that are mature, it's great for us that are mature. They like mature people, the trainers.
Fantastic. I love it. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is all I have. I really appreciate you spending your time, sharing your lives, and building your dreams with me. Have a fantastic evening. Good night, everyone.
Night, everyone.
Good night. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good night.